Hey everyone, and welcome to 1.21 Gigawatts. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we talk about movies on this show. This episode is actually a last minute little kind of like catch up. It's another Oscar nominated film, Lady Bird specifically, and we are recording this on the day of the Oscars, and we'll be
mere hours before,
and we'll be squeezing it up just before, meaning that by the time it's up, unless you watch it right away, you'll probably go away and watch the Oscars first before you even see this. But regardless, we wanted to squeeze it in because we both watched it, and we felt it was worth doing. What's funny though is because we just recorded our end of year award stuff, our top tens and our awards with Matt. We actually have an idea of how each other feel about it because of that. But so we'll start spoiler free as we always do, and we will give you a warning before we go into spoilers. So this is a coming of age story about a teenage girl who has renamed herself Lady Bird. Her real name's Christine, but she's named herself Lady Bird, and it's kind of about her clashing with her mother, and basically her having self-image problems and trying to appear as one way but not another, and all these self-identity issues, and that's kind of what the film explores. And she wants to go off to college. She wants to go off to a fancy New York college. Her mother wants her to stay and go to somewhere nearby, partly because it's cheaper, but also she wants her close by as well. And that is kind of the driving kind of plot behind all the stuff. It's set over the entire last year at school. Kind of she's starting her senior year, and she goes to a Catholic school. So that is the premise. So I know the answer to this, but Connor, did you enjoy Lady Bird?
Yeah, very much so. Again, we may have spoiled that for each other just slightly in previous discussion, but yeah, I did a lot.
No, I liked it as well. I don't think I liked it quite as much as you, but ultimately this comes down to it being a very natural film where the performances from Saoirse Ronan as Lady Bird and then Laurie Metcalf as her mother were definitely the standout of the film.
Absolutely, they anchor it, don't they, and make it feel real.
They can feel real. They make it what it is. I think, you know, if and I'm not just praising them. I'm praising the script and the direction of those characters, because that is what the film is. Without them, it is just a typical coming of age story where, you know, it's she's worried about going to school and she's worried, like, will she get accepted? You know this and that.
Which is fine. I would have enjoyed that anyway because I'm a sucker for coming of age stories.
Yeah, but I think, like, as it is, because this is a weird thing to say, because I'm not critiquing this. Like, I'm saying that it works because of this, but like, if Lady Bird was as unlikable as she actually is, but without the actual realistic drama part of it, this would be tedious to get through.
Agreed.
Because she's very flawed. She's very like aggressive with her mother. Her mother flips from being normal mother to being kind of like vindictive against her daughter, and you know, but again though, why it works though is they're both very realistic characters. And the mother, like, there was times when she was, like, you know, giving her any trouble for stuff. I was like, man, this feels very reminiscent of being told off when I was a kid. Like, I'm hearing some similar vibes from this.
No, definitely. And just to add on to that, I went to a Catholic school.
Oh yeah, so you've got even more.
I've seen things going, oh yeah, that's you know, that's it. That's how I remember it.
Oh no, oh god, I'm so glad I didn't go to a Catholic school.
There was a point where there was and you know, they're auditioning and they're singing, and her friend sings a song. And immediately I went back about 12 years to in church hearing that song. I was like, oh, that was a weird moment.
Oh yeah, I am obviously happy I never did that. All of it sounds like hell, quite frankly. No, irony intended. But like, yeah, so all of that felt very authentic, and like the way she was being told off for things, but you always kind of understood her point of view, even though sometimes it did feel a bit vindictive. And Lady Bird's a character who is so concerned with being something that she isn't, and she's constantly trying to, you know, make the other kids think she's better off than she is, whereas the family's actually struggling for money, the whole movie, but she wants to appear that she's not, and she wants to appear this. She wants to go to one of these schools because she feels like, oh, that's where all the cultural people go, that's what the culture is. I don't want to be in this shitty little town. Like, she hates where she came from. She, you know, and that's a big point of contention between her and her mother, because her mother feels like she's underappreciated and stuff. And the amount of times I've heard my mother say, "Oh, you don't appreciate me enough," you know.
Oh yeah.
You know, hits close to home, that part. Yeah, so it's a drama. It does have some funny moments. It has some quirkiness here or there, but it is definitely an outright drama. It's kind of one of those films where it is purely. I think we said this about Three Billboards as well. is that it's purely about the performances and the characters.
Yeah.
So it's not a movie with a lot of plot. There's not a whole lot of things going on. She wants to go to college. They're struggling for money, and she keeps like kind of drifting away from her friends because she wants to be seen a certain way, and it's kind of about her ultimately realizing she shouldn't like. Like be proud of where she came from. She doesn't have to be ashamed of where she came from, or the family she's from, or who she is.
It's all about acceptance, isn't it?
Yeah, which actually is, and obviously that ties into the main theme of the film is her name. She picked a new name for herself because she wants to be seen as this thing, as Ladybird and not Christine.
She wants to be, artsy and quirky.
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's really obvious. Like as soon as I started this movie, I'm like, well, I'm going to bet you money that by the end of this movie, there's going to be a really touching scene where she says, "No, my name's Christine." That scene's happening.
It's one of those moments that writes itself. It's like, well, of course that's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Which, can if it doesn't earn the moment, you're going, ugh, it's just doing that. But when it earns it, you kind of go, yeah, of course it's doing that. That's exactly what it should be doing.
Yeah. So, you can kind of see what the story is going to be very early on because it sets up its themes, it sets up its ideas, and then it goes from there. But, but as we say, the performances from Saoirse Ronan and Laurie Metcalf are the reasons to see this movie.
Absolutely. The supporting cast around them are pretty solid. I don't think there's any obvious weak links.
It's also tight pacing wise. It's only about 90-95 minutes long, so it's not doesn't labour around.
It's a quick and easy watch, goes right in.
And I think it's also kind of worth mentioning as well. I feel like I've seen a lot of stories about like male coming of age stories and how the relationship between a teenage son and his father and like that kind of thing. It's actually shockingly unique to see the same sort of beats but played out with like a daughter and a mother.
Yeah, it is a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah,
I hadn't really thought about it, but you're right.
Yeah, I can't really think of any other ones that specifically play into that. So that feeling really and it kind of working in that sense is pretty good. Like I say, it does have its humour as well as the movie goes on. There's definitely humour throughout. There's also some really cringy stuff as well at various points. But hey, so Greta Gerwig, this is her solo directorial debut. She's co-directed stuff before, I think, but this is her first her solo outing. And it feels like a very personal film. It feels like
it does, and obviously she wrote the script as well. So this does feel like a passion project for sure.
Yeah, which means she probably feels guilty for how shitty she was to her mother. So, I'll make this film.
I mean, that's assuming it's accurate and it's not just she had a fantastic story.
Oh, sure. I'm not saying it's based on her life. I'm just saying I'm going to make an assumption and say that there's maybe some, inspiration from life.
Probably.
Someone's going to tell us in the comments that, oh, she was actually, her mother died at a young age and she was only raised by her father, so it couldn't have been based on her life. But sure, fine. Like, I have no idea what the facts are here.
You just don't know.
But I'm going to make it feels so authentic that I've got a funny feeling that some of the moments, not the story necessarily, but some of the moments, like
the feeling.
Yeah, her being told to like fold her clothes before bed, and not leave her clothes lying around. Like those moments, I'm sure that moment happened.
I can see what you mean.
I can sense that. So, but hey, so yeah. Do we give spoiler warnings? Do we?
I guess we do, just to talk about the in-depth character motivations.
Yeah, because that's what a lot of it is. Yeah,
I think we can talk about the characters do this, and, like this is why they're good. But the actual motivations, I guess, is the spoilers of the movie because the plot isn't, but that is.
Yeah. Because she wants to move away. So full spoilers, right? So she wants to move away, and the opening scene is we see them being happy in the car, and they're joking about listening to this audio tape, and the movie's set in 2002, which. First of all, makes us both feel a bit old that now we're getting period pieces set in 2002.
Yeah, period pieces in the 2000s just feels wrong.
It feels weird, and I mean, at least I wasn't as old as the teenagers in this at the time. Like I was still younger than this in 2002. But I was around in 2002. I remember this time period.
I have strong memories of 2002.
Yeah. So, that's just kind of weird for me, but and obviously there's a few references to 9/11, like obviously that's just happened, relatively speaking, and there's some points made up about that, and I think, I'm wondering if there's something that tied in there where a big thing after 9/11 was that the US wanted to like basically reestablish its identity for itself and kind of like be strong and look strong. And I wonder if there's like some thematic ties there to like
Yeah, it's very much of putting on a brave front, isn't it?
Yeah.
Putting on your appearance that you want to be perceived as, rather than what you actually
Yeah.
are.
And that's kind of Lady Bird's whole thing is throughout the entire film is she wants to be perceived. She tells the bitchy like popular girl, "Oh, I'm rich too. This is my big house that I own."
And you know what? I think it's funny that as much as we're saying it's about accepting who you are and that, her mother has the exact same problem. Like where Lady Bird wants to be her thing, but her mother, when you mentioned her, fold your clothes. They've got to be good and proper dressed. She makes a point of saying, look, the people at your school, some of their parents could hire your dad, but they're not going to if they think that you look bad. So you've got to look like you're presentable so that they'll assume that we are.
Yeah, I think part of what makes it work so well is that they're actually really similar characters. They just don't realise it.
Yeah, exactly.
They're both doing the same thing, and her mother is guilty of like having a very specific thing that she wants her daughter to be. Like, really, she shouldn't be telling. I mean, if she can get scholarships and stuff, she shouldn't be telling her daughter not to go to a college she wants to. Like, she shouldn't be doing that.
No, probably not.
But she is. But then there's times when Lady Bird is flat out of line and she's doing things she shouldn't be, and she's it's definitely coming of age because she's found herself. And there's the whole thing where she's kind of like abandons her good friend, after the first act, and it starts going with the popular bitchy girl, and she only even like hangs out with her because she thinks, oh, you're kind of dating the guy in the band.
Yeah, that guy. He is exactly the character that, like, a decade ago, Michael Cera would have been cast as.
Yep. Again, very phony, very artsy-fartsy, thinking, I don't believe in money, so I barter.
It's funny, because I watched Call Me By Your Name after this, and it's the same actor. He's the lead in that. A vastly different character. But, I just saw this, I'm like, that's Michael Cera, but younger.
Yeah. I mean, hell, had this been made at the time, it would have been Michael Cera.
No, it would have been, exactly.
Yeah, maybe a few years later, but still.
Give or take.
In the ballpark. So, yeah, and then of course she learns, because she's going to prom with them, and they're like, no, we're not actually going to prom, we're going to go do something else because we're cool. And then the song comes on that her and her friend really like, and the people in the car all start making fun of it, and she's like, no, I actually really like this. And it's the first... That
was something that threw me. It was Dave Matthews Band. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's early 2000s as shit.
Yeah, I didn't recognise it, if I'm honest, but it's actually the first time where she just says, I don't care what you think, I like this. I don't care if this ruins the appearance I'm going for, I actually kind of like this. And it kind of works as well, because I feel like most people, not to the same extent she does, but I feel like most people in their adolescence do go through kind of a period where, oh, you want to be seen as one type of person, and you don't want to be,
absolutely.
Even if it's just as simple as you don't want to admit that you like certain things because you think it'll be seen as uncool. I feel like there's a period of time where you kind of feel like that, at least most people do. And then there's a point where you get to about 17, 18, and you're like,
screw it, I want to watch it. I want to read that. I want to listen to that.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that you've been hiding.
Yeah, I don't give a shit anymore. Why should I care? And it feels so silly when you look back on it, when you get to that point. You're like, why did I care? Well, like, this is stupid. So it's definitely a place with that, and it's like a big moment for her because she does that, and then she goes off, and she finds a friend, and they have this great epic prom night where they're friends again before her friend moves away, because she's going away for the summer, and then they're going to be off in different colleges and the whole thing. Yeah, and again, like, her mother gets so mad at her that like she went behind her back and applied for this college in New York, but she does eventually get in. And again, there's some great little moments where like she's like thrilled because one place has put her on a waiting list. Everybody else has like declined her. Like, no, you're not getting in, sorry.
Yeah, wait list, that's it. That's good enough. That's okay, we're going out and celebrating.
Yeah. But when she actually gets the place, and she's dropped off at the again, this is the part that felt really very realistic to me, was when the mother gets kind of passive aggressive, where she doesn't just say what's bothering her, she'll make a passive aggressive comment instead. That feels very realistic. Now, luckily, I don't think my mother consumes any of our content, because I'm about to throw her under the bus here a little bit. But this was like, how, because obviously she takes great offence when she finds out that Lady Bird used the phrase that she's from the wrong side of the tracks, And when she finds out, she looks hurt. This is the good acting from Metcalf. You see it in her face the moment he says that line.
Yeah, she's trying to hide it, but you can see it.
Yeah, this bothers her. It bothers her that her daughter's described him as that. And when she's dropping off at the airport with her dad, she doesn't come in with him. She's like, "Oh no, Dad will stay with you. I can't park here. It's too expensive." Like she's rubbing it in. She's actually she's making it worse and saying, "Hey, here's what you think of us. I'm going to play it up to 11 to make you feel bad." And I'm like, "Oh God, that is just like my mother."
Yeah.
That is just like my mother. If any time like she's mad about something, she will make comments like, obviously not that specific comment, but whatever it's related to, it'll be turned up to 11. And I guess it's a generational thing, like
because my mum does the same.
Yeah, I don't know. It's this vindictive thing that they do, but it played thingy. So. And I think I have seen like probably the biggest complaints I've seen about the film is the ending, and the feeling that maybe that we didn't need the phone call back to the answer machine, because she goes to New York and very quickly it's like, oh, this is maybe isn't as amazing as she thought it was going to be, because she gets drunk, she has to get her stomach pumped at the hospital because she gets so drunk, and she's
I will laugh. You know, they're in the hospital, in the ambulance, and they're like, "She's drunk. What do you want us to do?" Like even there, they're like, "Yeah, she's just drunk. It's fine. We see this every night."
Yeah, and she's into the church, and it's not so much that she's having like because she's very unreligious the entire time, and it's not so much that she's like discovering religion. She's actually really Catholic.
Or just a connection to home.
Yeah, it's just like it reminds her of home. It reminds her of what her mother like made her go to Catholic school, and it reminds me. And I actually did like when she described like driving about the town for the first time and how it was different because she'd been walking and actually driving herself around her hometown was like this unique experience. I liked what some of it was written, but it's the big end moment of the movie. She makes this speech on the answer machine back to her mother to basically thank her, and she's not ashamed of her, and she's proud of where she came from. I felt like it was just a bit on the nose,
a little bit sappy.
Yeah, it didn't need to go full. It was like it was beaten into us, like what the point of the movie was, and I think. You could have just had this quiet moment that told us the same thing, like a small moment.
I think even just when she says, she comes out and says, "No, her name's Christine," then going to the church is like, okay, no, she wants to still have that connection with home. It's kind of enough already.
I think you do the church scene first, and then at the party you have her say, "My name's Christine." Cut to black, roll credits.
I agree with that.
I think that's where you end it. I think it's just a little bit too beaten over the head with the phone call.
No, I agree. It's just a bit much. It doesn't ruin anything. It's probably my only real criticism with the movie. But yeah, just a bit too much.
Yeah. I mean, barring that, there's just a lot of like little standout scenes. Obviously, our first boyfriend. I mean, not our first boyfriend, but the first boyfriend in the movie turns out to be gay. Which, again, it's one of those things where because at first she's really pissed at him, she doesn't want to talk to him, and then eventually he kind of like catches up with her. And very quickly, she kind of like sees that he's scared because he comes from a really Catholic family, and he's terrified to like. And she just hugs him, and he's like, "Okay, she's kind of a bitch a lot of the time, but she's showing some humanity here, so you don't completely
She's still
hate her."
Ultimately a nice person.
Yeah,
that's the point. She makes wrong decisions, but when it's when it really matters, she's not going to be a dick about it.
Yeah, she makes a lot of wrong decisions, but yeah. And I did really enjoy the scene that they're getting this really, strict Catholic sex ed speech from this woman. She's telling this story. She's like, oh, so there's this woman who she wanted to have an abortion, and like she was going to do it, and then she decided not to. And do you know who that person was? And like they're like, oh, was it this? Was that? And the guest is like, no, it was me. I'm that baby. Like I my mother made the choice not to have the abortion, and I'm here because of that. And when Lady Bird like in front of everyone says, yeah, but if she did, we wouldn't have to listen to this entire speech. I'm like, I have never quickly connected to a character.
Yeah.
In my life.
This is the thing. She makes a lot of wrong decisions, like we say, but she never makes a wrong decision that she can't come back from.
Oh,
whereas
sure,
like with the friend, she makes a point of saying, no, I'm not going to out you. That would be I'm here. I'm not a dick. That again, because that's a move you can't come back from. You can't put that back in the bottle.
Yeah. The bowl.
So. Bottle.
Oh, bottle, yeah. I thought you said bowl. Who says that? Bowl. I've
no,
heard box, I've heard bottle, I've not heard bowl.
Yeah, that would be a new one. Let's start it up. No, I don't like it. That sounds shit.
Well, because it can't be something. It has to be something that was kind of out there already. Because the bowl's open, so open top.
Yeah,
The bowl's,
yeah, no, that's the thing. Yeah, boxes, bottles, they have lids.
yeah, or caps in the case of bottles.
Yeah, sometimes it's a lid though, I suppose. Depending on the bottle.
I think it's always a cap. You can always describe it as a cap.
I guess you can always cap, but I mean, a lid's pretty interchangeable here. Cap.
As a type of lid, sure.
All caps are lids, but not all lids are caps.
Yes.
Unless you're talking about baseball cap, in which case throw everything I just said out the window.
All bottle caps are lids, but not all lids are bottle caps.
Yes, yeah. That metaphor really got away from me, didn't it?
I don't know what you were doing with that, but yeah.
I don't know either anymore.
Yeah, so yeah, and because that's the thing, you have the scene where we follow Laurie Metcalf driving away from the airport, and she starts crying in the car, mainly because
even though she couldn't say it because she was being passive aggressive.
Yeah,
she couldn't say anything to her.
She's crying in the car, she's holding in her feelings, and then she lets it all out, and she runs and she doesn't make it, and her husband's like, "Hey, she'll be back, it's fine." But it's like, yeah, she realizes that she's been putting on a front, and she's been mad at her instead of just kind of like accepting, who her daughter is. And it's like, it's kind of both of them trying to realize what the best version of her is, because that's one of the scenes in the movie. Is like, she's like, I just want you to be the best version of what you are, not like anyone else, just the best version of you. And she's struggling to decide what she even is, and her mother's got these weird ideas of who she is. Like, and it's basically all a movie about just normal life growing pains.
It is, and let's say that could be a really boring movie. But when you put it in the great cast, really solid directing and writing, it becomes an excellent movie.
Yeah, yeah. I'll be honest. I was surprised that Saoirse Ronan was still young enough to play a teenager, because I've not really thought of her as a teenager for a while.
That's a good point. I haven't either.
Because I feel like I've seen her in like other stuff, and she's like an adult and stuff.
I feel like, to be fair, this is the first role where I've gone, you know what? She can really pull off the strong roles. Usually I'm like she's fine, but nothing's shocking.
I mean, she's 24 this year, which is not like ridiculous for compared to other things that have teenagers in them where they're actually in their 20s. But I don't know. It was weird. It was like I'm just used to her being adult roles now, and then it was like, oh, she's like a 17-year-old in this movie now.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah.
Also, just a credit to her on getting the accent, because I never felt her accent slip through.
No, that's true.
She's a very strong accent normally.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I never saw Brooklyn, but the trailer was like Irish as shit.
Yeah, I've seen bits of it because the girlfriend watched it, and then I just caught bits while it was on.
I just looked like something I did not want to see.
Yeah, I didn't want to watch it either, which is why I was like, you watch this. It was just when I was in and out of the room, I saw it.
But no, it's really good. I mean, I wouldn't like if I was picking my nominations for best film, it probably wouldn't quite make it for me, but it's good. Like, I understand why it's up there, and like I said, the performances and the very natural, believable script are kind of why it works, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think it just landed for me, and I think with a story like this, that's
funny. I can see a lot of like close to home stuff in The Mother. I think you go one step further because you actually went to a Catholic school, so there's even more stuff for you to kind of relate to.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of scenes I like, little slice of life things that were kind of like when her and her friend are talking about masturbating in the shower, and they're kind of like joking about it, and then they're theorizing what it would actually be like with a penis, instead. Yeah. And I just kind of like joking. I was like, yeah, I don't really often get scenes like this in movies where it's two girls talking about what sex might be like. You
don't, do you?
Because it's always guys. It's always, I wonder what boobs feel like. Or what does a vagina feel like? It's always that. Yeah. That's always the scene.
But, in this one, they're 17, give or take. Yeah, that's the age range where they're doing this. I feel like when you have the scenes of all the boys doing this, talk, they're like 12, 13. Sure,
yeah.
It's significantly younger when that conversation it seems to be happening, based on movies and TV again. Maybe the girls are having that younger as well. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't. I don't remember really talking to people about it as much though as movies make it out.
No, definitely not.
Nah, but hey, there's experiences may vary.
Maybe we were just social outcasts. Who knows?
Oh, I'm definitely a social outcast. I make no qualms about that.
No.
what can I say? I know I'm antisocial, and I guess you're fairly antisocial.
I am, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Anytime I'm watching a movie, because this has a party scene in it as well. It's not like a big part of the movie, but anytime I see like a party where a teenager in like in a movie has like all the schools over to drink in their house, all I can think about is I would never want that many people in my house ever.
Oh no, exactly. And I'm like,
Ever.
I would never go to that house.
Yeah, exactly.
I would never
sounds
do
awful. I want no part of it.
Yeah.
But hey, I guess we'll wrap it up here. Unless there's any more scenes or whatever you want to talk about.
Not in particular. I think I will say I really like her relationship with her dad, because obviously we saw a lot about her relationship with the mother. But,
yeah, our dad's kind of interesting because he's always playing the good guy, and he keeps hiding how he really feels, and like the mother will bring it up, and it feels kind of like, why are you bringing it up? He doesn't want you to bring it up, but it's kind of relevant because she actually finds out at one point that her dad's been battling depression for like 10 years, and she never knew about it. And that's
and her mother calls her out, going, "No, you're making things worse. When you get out of the car early to walk to school, so you're not seen with him, that makes it worse for him." But obviously, he would never mention that to her. He's always the good guy, no matter what.
What's funny about that is I feel like I've seen that trope done a lot, but not because the kid's ashamed of what their parents drive, just because they don't want to be seen with the parents. Yeah.
It's not cool, is it?
Yeah, it's just that's the normal thing. Like I feel like
no, I agree, and but I think that's the point, is that I think it is pretty normal to do that. I mean, I'm sure I did that at some point. It's like, hey, just drop me off around the corner. It's fine. And
I don't remember if I ever did it, but yeah,
but not because not because then against your parents. It's in particular, but just because it's not cool to have your parents drop you off. That's the sentiment. And I think here her mother knows that, but she's just angry, so she calls her out on it. But maybe that is actually how her dad felt because of the depression. It wasn't something that she was causing, but it was worse because of it.
Yeah.
But again, like I say, he would never tell that to her. He's just like, no, he's always the good guy no matter what. And I think it's just interesting to have that role there and anchor it a little bit.
Yeah. Again, it feels like a realistic sort of family dynamic that you would get.
Yeah.
Where one of them typically always ends up being the bad guy.
And again, this is very much a movie from her point of view. So even though I'm sure at various points they're both the bad guy and both the good guy, because this is her mindset right now in this movie, it's always the mother is the bad guy and the father is the good guy. Because even though in reality they're probably not, but in this perception of it, this is what we see.
Yeah, everything's from her perspective. Everything.
Yeah.
So no. But that's Lady Bird. So let's get to ratings then. What would you rate the movie out of 10?
I'm giving it a 9. It's a low 9. It was almost an 8.5, but it just about scrapes to it.
No, I'm giving it a straight 8. I thought it was solid, pretty good, good performances. Like I say, the ending was a little bit too far, and I feel like, I don't know, maybe there's just I'm missing, I don't know, just that missing spark just to like set it off a little bit higher. Like
that's fair.
I don't know. Like maybe it is just a case of having a bit more of a plot, but it would maybe just put it over the top to because it's a really solid like character actor movie.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So there you go. That is Lady Bird. Obviously this is going up right before our like first awards video are going up. We've got 2 videos coming up, 2 episodes coming up. One and is the like the award categories. So that's director, actor, actress, so on. Both of us plus Matt are on that, and we talk about that. That'll be going up later after this one does on the same day, and then tomorrow our top 10 movies of 2017 are going up. Again, that's both of us plus Matt all giving our top 10s of 2017. So look forward to that. But otherwise, that is. So let us know what you think of Lady Bird in the comments. Like, subscribe, all the usual stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv. There'll be a link to that in the description. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.